From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight.
Welcome into BBN Tonight. I'm Keith Farmer.
And I'm Mary Jo Perino. Tonight we'll recap a disappointing trip to Mizzou for Kentucky football.
And we'll also get a COVID-19 update from Coach Cal as the basketball season gets so much closer to happening. Well, here we go. The Kentucky football team may have some identity issues after a fruitless trip to Missouri on Saturday. We review the details in tonight's Big Blue story presented by Baptist Health. We start in the second quarter. After neither team managed to score on the opening one, the Tigers were the first to get some momentum offensively, going 13 plays for 66 yards and a touchdown to break the scoreless tie. Mary Jo, I think that's the shocker to me, is what a long drive they went on really continuously throughout this game.
Yeah, I was going to say they did that a couple of times actually, but I was still Kentucky was still totally in this game. I was just waiting for something to happen with the offense. So let's go later in the second quarter. And because the offense was going so slow, Terry Wilson gets pulled. Joey Gatewood comes in at quarterback. He helped lead a drive for 43 yards and 7 plays. That set up a Matt Ruffalo 50-yard field goal. Good for him. Puts the Cats on the board. Mizzou would then tack on a field goal to end the first half with a 10-3 lead. And as boring and ugly as this game was, Kentucky's only down a score.
Yeah, I mean, again, they Missouri just held on to the ball for so long.
Yeah.
Kentucky just did not look good offensively, and yet you're only down a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, not bad. All right, so to the second half we go, and Missouri carried out a 21-play drive that ate up more than 9.5 minutes of clock before being stopped on 4th and short on a turnover of downs. Terry Wilson checked back into the game, but he went 3 and out on Kentucky's only offensive drive of the quarter. The Tigers added another touchdown to its lead just before the end of the quarter, 17-3. And I had to sit there and think, all right, it's not that bad. I know there's a quarter to go, and you can easily rattle off some pretty quick scoring opportunities.
But if you're the defense and you have gone 21 plays, come up with a big stop, and just like that, you're back on the field. It's tough.
Yeah.
The offense put the defense in a really tough position there. So let's go to the fourth quarter. Kentucky kicked off its best drive of the game. The Cats had 5 straight runs before Terry Wilson lobbed a beauty 26-yard touchdown pass to Josh Ali. That made it a 1-possession game. We're back in it, but the Tigers would then milk more of the clock and added a field goal to make it a 2-possession game with just about 3 minutes left. And Keith, at that point, I think we kind of figured, this one's not going to go the way they had hoped.
No. I mean, it just seemed like they were just not into this game for some reason, is how it seemed. I mean, it's no other way to say it. And even Coach Stoops has said so after the game and even today. So as the game was winding down, Joey Gatewood would get back into the game at quarterback, completed a first down to Josh Ali. But then, unfortunately, he was stripped of the football to put the nail in the coffin as Kentucky lost 20-10.
We were beaten in every area, and no ifs, ands, or buts. They just kicked the tail out of us from the beginning to the end. They controlled the football. They were physical. They got aggravating rush yards, got first downs, possessed the football, did just constantly held on to the ball. Offensively, we had way too many 3 and outs, 36 plays to 92. You don't have a chance to win a game when it's like that.
Listen to that stat, 36 plays to 92 plays. It's crazy. Here's some major points from the game. Both Terry and Joey Gatewood took turns under center. Neither one of them threw for hardly any yards. Kentucky not only lost on the scoreboard, stats completely lopsided in Missouri's favor. The Tigers possessed the ball for 43-plus minutes, 400 yards of offense, and UK offensive line coach John Schlarman, who continues to battle cancer, did not make the trip to Columbia. And Keith, we're going to talk more about him a little bit later, but this was just an all systems failure, truly.
I know a lot of people were saying it reminded them of South Carolina last year, but to me it reminded me more of like 2 years ago when they went to Tennessee. Because they were the ranked team that came in and then they just threw in a dud that everybody did not expect. And this one was one of those too. Maybe you're coming off that big win to Tennessee, but they were told don't take the pats on the back. Still just did not look good at all. All right, looking ahead to Kentucky's next matchup, the Cats head into Saturday's game against Georgia, opening up as a 13-point underdog Georgia is coming off a bye. That's not good news either after losing to Alabama. UK has listed Terry Wilson or Joey Gatewood at starter. And Mary Jo, we found out that was maybe because Terry Wilson has a little minor injury. He's not going to practice today.
Yeah, and even Stoops was asked about Bo Allen.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get some snaps too, so we'll see who's under center come Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's talk some basketball now. The team roster is locked and loaded after last week's clearances for Olivier Sarr and Jacob Toppin. Today, Coach Cal talked with the media about his team, and while he says he feels good about living in a bubble at the Wildcat Lodge, the program would shut down for 14 days as recommended by the NCAA if someone on his team tested positive.
I feel good till the 25th. The 25th, I don't know how this thing's going to play out. And I will tell you, if one of our kids is positive and is traced, we're out 14 days.
You'll hear more from Coach Cal in a BBN Game Day special coming up Saturday morning. Interviews with him, the players, staff, whole panel of analysts, and our hour-long preview of the season. It airs at 10 o'clock on LEX 18. Check your local listings for times outside of Lexington. And Keith, speaking of college basketball and COVID-19, we found out the Champions Classic not going to be in the bubble at Orlando.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out a way to get it to go. We've seen reports that Indianapolis might be the next spot for that to head. So
it sounds like it more comes down to the teams because of all the testing issues and everything. So it's a tough call. Coming up next on BBN Tonight, we'll hear from a member of Kentucky's Big Blue Wall.
Lineman Landon Young will talk about his takeaways from the loss at Missouri when we return.